Did you see what happened between Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark? Carter pushed Clark in the back during a game, and wow, it did not go how she planned. Let's break down this wild moment and see why Carter instantly regretted her actions. It was a heated game between the Sky and the Fever, the crowd's going wild, and everyone's eyes are on Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Chennedy Carter decides to make a move, but it's not a basketball move, folks. She straight up pushes Clark in the back. You could hear the collective gasp in the arena. I mean, who does that? It was so unexpected. Even the refs were caught off guard, but Clark barely flinched. She just kept her cool and got right back to dominating the game. That's when Carter realized she messed up big time. This push? It backfired hard, and Carter's face said it all. She knew she'd just made a huge mistake. Now, you might be wondering, how did Caitlin Clark react to this unexpected shove? Let me tell you, it's not what you'd expect from a rookie in such a high-pressure situation. Clark's response? Pure professionalism. She didn't lose her cool, didn't get in Carter's face, didn't even look fazed. It's like she was saying, "Is that all you got?" without saying a word. This girl's got nerves of steel, I'm telling you. But here's where it gets really interesting. Instead of letting Carter's push throw her off her game, Clark used it as fuel. She channeled that energy right back into her performance, and boy, did it show. You want to talk about making a statement? Clark came out guns blazing. She scored the first bucket for the Sky that night, sending a clear message: I'm not backing down. And she didn't stop there. Picture this: Clark's dropping floaters off the glass, nailing deep threes, and even pulling off step-back three-pointers like it's no big deal. It's like she took that push personally and decided to show Carter and everyone else exactly why she's the talk of the league. But wait, there's more. Clark wasn't just lighting it up on offense, she was a force on defense too. At one point, she locked down her opponent one-on-one, stayed right with her, stripped the ball, and forced it out of bounds. That's the kind of two-way play that separates the good from the great. And now let's talk numbers, because Clark's stats are mind-blowing. In just the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, she put up 7 quick points. But that was just the appetizer. By the end of the game, Clark had racked up 23 points, dished out 9 assists, grabbed 8 rebounds, and even blocked 2 shots. You know what's crazy? That stat line makes her the only rookie ever to put up those numbers in WNBA history. That's right, Clark didn't just play well, she made history. All this after being pushed around? Talk about rising to the occasion. So Clark's dominating the game, but what about Carter? Let's talk about what happened to her after that push. You might think she'd just shake it off and keep playing, right? Well, not quite. Remember those 3 fouls Carter committed? Yeah, they came back to bite her. She ended up having to sit out for a big chunk of the first half. That's not what you want when you're trying to make an impact on the court. But here's the thing. Carter didn't just give up. When she got back in the game, she was determined to show everyone what she could do. She scored some pretty impressive baskets, including a behind-the-back stop on the dime jumper. That's not easy to pull off, folks. She also nailed a floater inside the paint, a signature runner, and an overhand layup. Carter was trying to prove she belonged on that court. But you know what they say about first impressions? That push on Clark, it was like a dark cloud hanging over everything Carter did. No matter how well she played after that, people couldn't forget what happened earlier. It's like when you spill something on your shirt, even if you clean it up, everyone still remembers the stain. Now let's compare Carter and Clark in those crucial game moments. While Carter was struggling to make up for lost time, Clark was out there making history. Remember those stats we talked about earlier? Clark ended up with 23 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That's not just good, that's rookie record-breaking good. And here's a quote that really sums it up. Despite everything, it is worth mentioning that Carter held her own too, but it's a shame that because of the push in the last game, she overshadowed herself and drew attention in a negative way, not a positive one. That push didn't just affect this game, it could have long-term consequences for Carter's reputation. Think about it, fans and officials might start seeing her as a player who resorts to unnecessary roughness. That's not the kind of label you want in your career. In the end, Carter's team, the Sky, lost to Clark's Fever 83-91. It was their second loss in a row, and it really showed how important Clark is to her team's success. Meanwhile, Carter was left to wonder what might have been if she'd kept her cool. So Carter messed up, but how did these two even end up here? Let's rewind and look at the journeys of Clark and Carter. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. These two didn't just pop up out of nowhere. They've been on totally different paths. Clark, she's the Iowa girl who became a college superstar. Carter, she's from Texas and had to prove herself the hard way. Now, Clark's college career, it was off the charts. She broke records left and right. We're talking NCAA Division I all-time scoring leader. That's huge. No wonder everyone's saying she might be the best to ever play in the WNBA. But Carter, her story's a bit different. She had a good run at Texas A&M, averaging 22 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. Not bad, right? But after getting drafted 4th by the Atlanta Dream, she had to go overseas. Turkey, China, China, Poland. Carter was on a world tour trying to prove she belonged in the big leagues. Here's the thing, Clark and Carter never faced off in college, but you can bet Carter's been eyeing Clark's success. It's like she's been thinking, I gotta show I'm just as good. And that push, it's more than just a push. It's like Carter's saying, hey, I'm here too. But Clark's response, it's showing everyone why she's the talk of the town. And this isn't just about one game or one push. It's about two players on totally different paths colliding in the WNBA. Clark's the rising star, the fan favorite. Carter's the underdog, fighting to make her mark. You know what's crazy? This push could be the start of something big. We might be looking at the next big WNBA rivalry. Remember Clark's rivalry with Angel Reese in college? This could be even bigger. But here's the real lesson in all this. It's not just about talent, it's about how you handle yourself. Clark kept her cool and let her game do the talking. Carter? Well, she might have let her frustration get the best of her. In the end, it's not just about who's the better player, it's about who can keep their head in the game when the pressure's on, and right now, Clark's showing she's got the skills and the composure to be a true pro. But this isn't just about one push or one game, folks. This incident, it's got everyone talking about women's basketball. Let's break it down. Clark's response? It's showing young players how to handle tough situations. She didn't lose her cool, she let her game do the talking. That's the kind of role model we need in sports. And get this, this rivalry between Clark and Carter, it could be huge for the WNBA. People love drama, and this push is adding some serious spice to the league. But here's the thing, we can't forget what really matters. It's not about the drama, it's about the game, the skills, the teamwork, the passion. That's what's gonna grow women's basketball. So what do you think? Is this push gonna change how people see the WNBA, or is it just a bump in the road?